Lowell Jones, are you here tonight? Come right along.
I thought as I was coming here today, I haven't been to this church before. How large is that church? And I began to think that if we were to get together, those that loved Walter, as you do and I do, there isn't any coliseum or anywhere, any place in the world that would be large enough, because there are millions of people have been touched by Walter's life, and I would say almost that number that loved him like we do. Monday morning about 8:30, my precious friend Darlene called me and said, "Lowell, I guess you were the last to speak to Walter." I'd talked to him the night before, and I thought, what in the world could she possibly mean? And then she said, "He's gone to be with his Lord." Sometime during the day, I said something to her about a funeral, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, Darlene, I meant to say a celebration or memorial." Walter made it very, very clear to Darlene that this was not to be a funeral, in quotes. This was to be a celebration, because Walter is where all of us want to be. He's home with Jesus Christ, and no place could be any better than that, Paul tells us. So praise God for that. And I just thank you very much for the opportunity of being asked. Just a couple of notes that I made while I was sitting there. You know, Walter didn't preach and teach the Word. And I'm sorry to say, in my short 21 years of knowing Jesus Christ intimately and loving him as much as I do, I've known too many people that preach the Word but don't live it. Of all the good examples, of all the perfect examples of someone who actually preached the Word in great strength, power. Did you ever hear anyone preach the Word as powerful as he did? Well, do you know why? It's because the Word is powerful, and most of us don't use that word powerfully like he did. But you know, interestingly enough, he had so much love for his fellow man that it's hard to explain. And you know, these people sitting up on the stage and his family and you folks out there, there are a lot of very important people, important in quotes, in this auditorium. Walter loved everybody. Walter and I were at many autograph parties for some of the books that he wrote. And he had Mormons or someone attack him when they were in close range there, not little physically, but attack him verbally. And I used to stand there in amazement at his total patience. He never got the least little bit aroused. He would stand there and listen patiently. When the man got over his anger and quieted down a little bit, Walter would put his arm around him. I just happened down here in Long Beach once. He put his arm around this Mormon who was furious at what he'd been saying. Put his arm around him and started saying, "Brother, let's talk about what the Scriptures say." And after a little while, the man quieted down, and after talking for about 15 minutes, and by the way, by that time there must have been 100 people around us, after talking for about 15 minutes, dear precious Walter said, "Sir, would you like to pray and accept Christ?" The man said, "Yes," as quick as that. "Yes, I would." And in front of 200 people there in the middle of a bookstore, Walter didn't care where it was. He prayed, and the man accepted Jesus as his Lord. I saw that happen so many times that I can't even begin to enumerate it. But as I started to say, or maybe I finished saying, but maybe I want to say it again, Walter lived. He lived what he preached. Is that right? He lived what he preached. And boy, I'm telling you, I wish we could all do that. And one last thing. There's several people sitting here this afternoon. Ken and Eileen Parker, I could name a group of people who attend his class in Costa Mesa. And I think this is extremely important. And they're there every Sunday. Whether Walter's there or not, Walter has substitutes. They're there every Sunday. Their church is Walter's church. Walter was the church that they went to. They loved him dearly, and he was everything to them. I mean, Jesus was first, but Walter was their preacher, their teacher. And, you know, they'd come home, they'd come back, and I'd hear from them, and they'd say, well, Walter wasn't there today, but a man was there. His name was Hanegraaff. You know, Walter has gone home to be with the Lord, but he didn't leave nothing behind him. He left all of us to witness for him and to witness for the Lord through his teaching. But he left Hank. He left Hank. These folks said Hank was so good that they actually missed Walter, but only a little bit that day. Hank was that good. So I say he did leave a legacy. He left us, he left millions of others, and he left Hank and the organization. God bless all of you. I love you. Darlene, where is Darlene? Darlene, I just can't tell you how much I love you, and that little gal sitting next to you, Debbie. Praise God and the whole family. I love you so much. Thank you.